So you probably heard of something called FIRE. This means financial independence, retire early. And I'm hearing this everywhere in the world of finance at the moment, especially from the content creators on the likes of Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And it sounds like the dream. You quit your job in your 40s, you live on your own terms, and you watch sunsets instead of worrying about these Slack notifications. But I'm going to be honest with you, and a lot of people might not agree with me, but I think the FIRE movement is pretty garbage, to be honest with you. I think it's a load of crap. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I think this. So the FIRE movement tells you to invest up to 75% of your monthly income, which I'd like to add for one is nearly impossible for most people unless you're living at home and you don't go out and you're pretty much a hermit. But you have to do this up until the point when you have 25 times your salary. And then once you've hit that target, you're supposed to take out around 3 to 4% per year until the day you die. So the whole philosophy behind this is that the investments that you put that money into, the returns that you make each year will compound and snowball. So you won't have to work again. And it sounds fantastic. I love the idea of it, but it's not feasible. It doesn't work. Firstly, there's a lot of chaos in the market, okay? The market goes up, the market goes down. You can never predict what is going to happen. At the same time, you may have personal problems when you get older. You might end up in hospital, you might end up in a home, you might have medical conditions. Have no idea. The money that you save by that point in time might not cover all of those expenses. So imagine spending all of your 20s and all of your 30s saving, hypothetically, 50% of your income every month, when you should be out living, enjoying life. You decide to just chase numbers on the screen and wait until you're so much older to do what? Sit back on a beach. In your 20s and 30s, you should be out living, but this would stop you from going out and having dinners. You'd have no trips, no experiences, all so that you can retire early. And you'll find that if you've been my cat is breaking everything. If you've been that sort of person for so long, you're going to find it very hard to then spend money when you're older. You're always going to be that frugal person and never enjoy anything. I once spent 6 months without work. I had no deadlines, I had no purpose, and I was bored out of my mind. Because what FIRE doesn't tell you, from my personal opinion anyway, is that humans are not built to retire early. We're wired for growth and contribution and creativity. And even when we reach that finish line, we're still looking for the next race. We don't just stop and say, right, there you go, I'm not going to do anything anymore. It quite often leads to massive amounts of depression. But let's just say you save that money and now you're living off the pot that you had all that cash in. You're taking that 3 to 4% every year. Let's just say, hypothetically, the markets crash, like COVID, or the Tech 2022 crash, or the 2008 crash. Your expenses will rise, but your investments won't. They'll dip quite heavily. That 3% withdrawal rate would be based on data from decades ago, and it wouldn't work. It wouldn't sync up. So in my opinion, it's not bulletproof. It sounds wonderful, but it's a ridiculous idea that I think too many people are being caught up in. So I know that I'm telling you all of this, but what is the alternative? And in my opinion, it's to build balance and not an obsession. You need to still live, you still need to enjoy your life, but you have to also learn how to save and plan for the future. So to start with, number one is keep 3 to 6 months of emergency funds. That is your peace of mind pot. If you lose your job, you still got money. As I said, I took 6 months out, traveled around Spain, loved it because I had my savings pot. Number two, invest, and this is the key bit here, what you can. Not as much as possible. Invest what you feel comfortable investing. Enough for your investment pot to grow, but not so much that it suffocates you every month. And three, I would say use the rest of that money to build something fantastic, to build something real. Whether that's a business, a skill, a life, anything that pays you back more than just money. I'm here building my YouTube channel at the moment, and I have a small obsession with tools. I like different bits of software. The additional money that I get each month, I put into trying new tools to make my day and my time more efficient. I don't see that as a waste of money. I see it as an investment. And it works. It's helping so much. So my closing words are, If you've heard someone tell you about the FIRE movement, please, for the love of God, ignore it, because it's not something you should be focusing on. Don't let someone else's spreadsheet steal your life. Financial freedom is not about retiring early. It's about designing a life that you feel you don't need to escape from. It's about having the financial independence to be able to do other things that you actually enjoy doing. That is retirement. You might work till you're 80, but if you're working until you're 80 years old in property development because you love it, or like what I'm doing now, content creation, but I love it, in my eyes, I've retired. I've got money in the bank. I can take time out if I want to, but I'm doing something creative and I'm building something that I thoroughly enjoy. That is what you want to do, not sitting there on a beach, because I promise you after a few weeks you will be bored out of your mind. So live while you build and build while you live. That is true independence. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found this helpful in any way, shape or form, please do like, comment and subscribe. I would love to hear your opinions on the FIRE movement. So comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and take it easy. Until the next video. Peace.